The profound wonder of existence. Have you ever stopped to wonder just how strange it is to simply exist? Here we are, living, breathing, and thinking, surrounded by a world that is so familiar yet so full of mystery. Alan Watts once reflected on this idea, inviting us to consider the profound weirdness of existence and how, in its strangeness, it offers us a window into something greater. Watts noticed something simple yet extraordinary. Every single one of us is unique. You, me, everyone. Each of us is utterly one of a kind. And yet, this uniqueness only makes sense because it contrasts with something more uniform or even. Think about it. A star only seems bright because it's surrounded by the darkness of space. A tree stands out because of the emptiness around it. In the same way, our individuality shines because of the shared, undifferentiated background of existence. This idea of contrast, of things being defined by what they're not, leads to an age-old question. Why is there anything at all? Why does the universe exist? Why do we exist? It's a question that humans have wrestled with for centuries, from philosophers to poets to scientists. But Watts suggested that the question itself might be the problem. Asking why presumes that there must be a reason, a purpose, or a cause behind existence. And while that's an understandable assumption, it may not lead us to the truth. Instead, Watts proposed a different question. How does existence happen? This shift from why to how is more than just a change in wording. It opens the door to understanding life not as a puzzle to be solved, but as a phenomenon to be experienced. When we ask how, we begin to notice the patterns and forms that make up the world around us. Watts explored this idea by looking closely at the world. He pointed out that when we try to understand the nature of things, we often look for something solid, something foundational. But the deeper we dig, the more elusive that solidity becomes. Take something as simple as a carpet. At first glance, it seems like a single, solid object. But if you look closer, you'll see it's made up of fibers woven together. Look even closer, and you'll find molecules, then atoms, and eventually waves or vibrations. The more we zoom in, the more what we thought of as stuff starts to dissolve into patterns and movements. Watts explained that this isn't just true of carpets, it's true of everything. What we call matter isn't really a thing at all. It's a process, a way of measuring relationships and interactions. The word matter, he noted, comes from a root meaning to measure. This means that what we perceive as solid objects are actually patterns of energy, constantly shifting and changing. The world, then, isn't a collection of things. It's a dance of forms, a continuous interplay of rhythms and flows. This perspective transforms the way we see the world. Instead of viewing life as a collection of separate, static objects, we begin to see it as a dynamic, ever-changing process. Watts likened this to music. A piece of music doesn't exist to point to something else. It doesn't need to explain itself or have a purpose outside of being heard. Its meaning is in the experience of listening to it. In the same way, life doesn't need to serve a purpose beyond itself. It simply is, and that is enough. Watts used vivid imagery to illustrate this idea. He described how everything in nature is simply doing what it does. Trees are treeing, stars are starring, rain is raining, and people are peopling. Each thing is fully and completely itself, and it doesn't need a deeper justification for being. This perspective invites us to see the beauty in life's simplicity, to recognize that existence itself is the ultimate miracle. However, many of us struggle to embrace this view because we're caught in a mindset that prioritizes survival above all else. From a young age, we're taught that the most important thing is to keep going, to fight to survive. Society reinforces this idea, telling us that life's value lies in how long we can sustain it. But this obsession with survival creates a tension. Life, in its essence, is spontaneous and free. It flows naturally, without force or control. Yet we try to impose rules and expectations on it, turning it into something rigid and unnatural. This survival-focused mindset also pulls us away from the present moment. We're constantly looking ahead, hoping that the future will bring us happiness, fulfillment, or peace. But Watts warned against this way of thinking. He explained that placing all our hopes in the future is a recipe for dissatisfaction. Life isn't something that will happen later. It's happening right now. The present moment is the only place where reality exists, and it's where we find the true richness of life. So how do we break free from this trap? Watts encouraged us to change the way we see life. Instead of treating it as a series of goals to achieve or problems to solve, we can start to see it as a kind of play, a performance that doesn't need a deeper purpose to be meaningful. When we let go of the need to control everything, we open ourselves to the natural flow of life. We begin to appreciate the beauty of what's already here, instead of always chasing after something more. This doesn't mean ignoring the challenges of life or pretending that difficulties don't exist. Instead, it means approaching life with a sense of curiosity and wonder, seeing each moment as an opportunity to engage with the world in a new way. Watts believed that when we learn to live in the present, we discover a kind of freedom that can't be found anywhere else. We stop worrying about the future or clinging to the past, and we start to experience life as it really is. Take a moment to reflect on this idea. Look around you. Notice the details of the world, the way light falls on a surface, the sound of the wind, or the feel of your breath as it moves in and out. These simple experiences are where life's magic resides. They remind us that we don't need grand answers or ultimate purposes to find meaning. Life itself is enough. If this perspective resonates with you, don't let it end here. Keep exploring these ideas. Let yourself wonder about the world and your place in it. Ask questions, stay curious, and dive deeper into the mysteries of existence. And most importantly, live fully in the moment. Life is happening right now. Don't miss it.